you doing the pressure? Oh.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly, cause it's not professional. But I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
Okay. Episode 372 of the PHPUgly podcast. I am Eric Van Johnson, and with me is John Congdon.
Hello.
Hello.
372. Man, he came right out of the gates with it.
This is your first time listening. We this is about as good and clean as it gets. But we are a weekly podcast that focuses on the PHP programming language, the PHP community, and we talk a lot about our company, PHP Architect. Here's the breakdown for you. We do this thanks to some sponsors, honeybadger.io, as well as our supporters on Patreon. We're going to talk about all of them a little later. And if you want to be part of the action, you can be by joining us in our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. And you will be part of the chat, which for some reason is not showing up. Why is that not there? Boom, now it is.
That's a good question.
That was that's pretty much going to be it moving forward. So buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Need to work on our lower thirds. We should have a lower third for our Discord when we introduce that so people know where to go. You know, that whole thing. I need to be better at that. Maybe one day.
Rip. Why is I'm not even in our Discord. I'm seeing people post in chat. I'm like, hey, I'm not seeing that. So yeah, there you go, Ennis Bucky. Technically not first, but you're first on screen. Good job.
There we
Script,
go.
thanks for the kind words. He said, I enjoy listening to your podcast for many hours in my car. What?
I just said they. We don't know. Male, female.
Oh. Now it's my Discord activity and my first live session. So welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And OFFS has the appropriate response of "I'm so sorry." So that's pretty much how things roll here.
It is.
John,
we get razzed by our supporters on Patreon. How crazy is that? Doesn't seem right. Oh man, what a week. It's been getting over a cold, finally getting out on the field. The rain finally stopped, getting on the field for baseball.
Baseball season starting, baby. Wearing my
Yes,
Padres shirt.
there you go. It has felt like a long week. And I have a funny baseball story for you in a bit. How was your week?
Okay, except I'm constantly reminded how completely unromantic I am as a guy. It was Valentine's Day that this week. I assume that's a world thing, but I don't
Yes,
know.
yesterday.
And my wife, my current wife, did a bunch of nice things. She got me a hat to wear on the show, which has a little rose on it. And speaking of
Aw.
baseball, she got me a rose made of an actual baseball. That's a baseball that they've now made into rose. She did these nice romantic, loving gestures for me, and I got her a tablet because I don't understand how to romance.
I got my wife just a heart box of Dove chocolate. I don't know. I don't know how to romance either.
Yeah, yeah, and I thought it was so I did uh did get her a tablet that was like rose color, so it was like it wasn't totally like cold geeky black. It had some romance to it. Yeah, that's about as romantic as I get, I guess. I'm not good at that stuff.
We always, for the kids, we cut out hearts and we put little notes on their door so when they wake up they have just a door full of hearts with messages from us.
Mhm.
That was the one semi-romantic thing I did. Is I did the same thing for my wife, like put the little hearts on the door, little messages. But outside of that, yeah, I'm in the same boat.
John put a little heart on his wife's door and just said, "What are you making for breakfast?"
She did. She got up at 4 a.m. to make heart-shaped waffles for the kids and me. I ate them too.
My my parents spoiled me for Valentine's Day, and as a result, I ended up spoiling my kids. But as a kid, Valentine's Day was like I got a gift. I mean, it was only one gift, but it was like a gift, like a Christmas thing. I'd wake up, there'd be a gift for me, and I always thought that's like what Valentine's was. It was like you give people gifts, which I guess you kind of do. You give your love to your
Tablets.
kids. We did the
Oh,
same thing
that
for our kids growing up.
that's my first hearing of a tablet as a Valentine's gift.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's more to it. If the reason why I thought it was going to be romantic, but a- as I gave the gift, I realized it wasn't by their reaction.
Thanks.
So it's a Google Pixel tablet. So it's not an iPad. It's a Pixel tablet, and the reason I got that is because after the show, NorCal Kid usually video calls chats with me, and then we'll video chat with the current wife. Well, the current wife just would talk on her phone while she's working, so she has her phone and she's trying to chat. So I got her this Pixel tablet that sits on your desk, and I thought that would be romantic. Like now they can video chat. Maybe we'd video chat more as a family, and but yeah, that was pretty much. It was kind of like, oh, you got me a tablet. All right, cool, nice. This will be nice. Like, damn it.
I missed the mark again.
But yeah, that's pretty much. Hey man, I
That
code, man.
that
I don't.
that's my last 20 years. Missed the mark
Oh,
again. It happens.
uh,
Oh,
what can
all
I
right.
say?
All right. You want to hear about my fun baseball story? Hey, my
Absolutely,
first
I love baseball stories.
my first practice Tuesday. Get to the field nice and early. I'm trying to teach the kids. You get here early. We'll do like little batting practice before practice actually starts, and then we'll get things going. So I got there like 40 minutes early. Start setting up, putting the bases in. Can't find a couple of the posts. And I'm like digging all around. And then all of a sudden, this other person shows up and tells me, "Oh, we're sharing the field because it's been so rainy. A lot of the fields were double booked." I'm like, "That's fine, I'm fine sharing. I know we all want to get out there and play." And he shows me on his phone that he's sharing a field with me. Okay, we work together to finish setting the field up. I get my net all set up, like the whole shebang. I'm ready. I'm like, "Where are my kids?" Like, not a single one showed up. Here it is, like, now I finally look, it's 5 after the official start time. One of the kids shows up that I hadn't met yet. I'm like, "Hey, you on my team?" Met him. Finally look at my phone. Yeah, my practice was moved to another field.
Oh no.
I spent 45 minutes setting up a different field. I finally like grabbed my kid and then this other kid. I'm like, "All right, we got to boogie over here." I'm trying to carry all of my equipment as best I can, 2 fields over.
Oh, so
Luckily,
you were in the same location, just that you were on the wrong field.
yeah, there's like 6 fields at this one park, and
Mhm.
I got to go way across to another field to get there. I
Yeah.
get over there. Luckily, one of my assistant coaches had started warm-ups as I got there, but I'm carrying all the stuff. I get over there. Now I'm stressed. Field's not set up. There's no bases in, so we're not going to do base running. Bad first impressions. Our first practice, and I appear to be 15 minutes late. I'm like, "No, I was 45
15
minutes
minutes
early."
late and drunk. I mean,
It was so bad. It was so bad. Uh,
well, like I said, I mean, at least it was in the same physical location. It could have been so much worse,
yeah.
like being across town or something. I've made that mistake before, but
Yeah. Well, we do have like 4 different parks in the area that we could potentially be at. So you're right. At least it was in the same one.
right.
But I get home and I'm trying to figure out, how did I miss this? Because I know I looked I know I looked last minute to make sure I was going to the right field. And 2 things happened. One, I got an Excel sheet early in the season that showed me all of the teams and where they were practicing. And I'd pulled that up so I could schedule a scrimmage with another team, in a couple of weeks. So I referred to that for where to go. I also thought I looked in the real time app that we have. And it turns out I probably did. I left at like 3:05 and my wife got an email at 3:09, field changed. I feel so bad for the scheduler. He said he got ripped into by somebody else because he was like, "You need to call us if our fields change." He's like, "I would have had to call everybody, and I don't have like I also have my own full-time job I got to deal with."
Yeah, yeah, that's rough. How was your
Yeah.
work week? You said you weren't feeling well? Did you do any coding?
I am fighting with the Salesforce API, and I was still fighting with it prior to recording right now. And it's just driving me nuts. And it- we use Salesforce in other aspects, right? And the
Mhm.
OAuth flow has worked just fine, but I'm now working on a different task where I don't need that full OAuth flow. I have a single user that will be logging in, and I want to use the password grant. And I've tried every which way to make it work, and I keep getting uh, invalid credentials, or authorization failed is what it is. So invalid grant and authorization failed. I've asked ChatGPT, I've watched YouTube videos, I've done so many things trying to make this work, and it's just not. It is
Yeah, that
frustrating.
Salesforce API can be a bear, man.
Mm,
Absolute bear. So yeah, I uh I worked with it ever so briefly back when I was in the enterprise, and I remember thinking to myself, why would anybody do this? Because the whole thing with Salesforce, and you can't, I guess, fault them for it. Is they want to pull you into their ecosystem, and they don't really want you to do other things, right? They want you to do everything within their sandbox, or I mean
Right.
not sandbox as in, but their playground.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
as Bucky,
it's a lot.
I understand you. I've tried both with just the username and password, and the username and then the password combined with their authorization token. I've tried both, and yeah, neither one's working.
Yeah. Speaking of ecosystems, I know you've kind of gone down the path of Apple with your iPhone and MacBook and all that good stuff. What are your
Hmm.
feelings on the goggles that they have now?
I've excuse me. I've watched Casey Neistat and Marcus Brownlee's videos, and it intrigues me, but not for $4,000.
Or right? Holy
Not for
smokes, man!
4,000. But watching their reactions to it, and their point being, this is first generation. It's only going to get better from here. It's like, I kind of want them. I'm not gonna lie. They look dumb, but with their reactions, it seems like might it might be useful. I don't know.
Yeah, I the whole thing with VR for me, yeah, I've done like VR goggles like briefly, a couple times, and I do enjoy like the immersion into whatever you're interacting with. But I have this thing where I can't stop thinking about the fact that there could be people around me looking at me that I can't see.
Mhm.
And it's like, I'm never comfortable with that. It's just not something I'm comfortable with. So I never really kind of bought into the VR thing. Not that it was a bad technology. I think it's a great technology. And I always thought that it
Y-
would be used more for therapeutic things,
y-
um,
I think you're
but
thinking more augmented reality than the virtual reality, right?
no, I'm thinking virtual reality. But
Okay.
uh, but that was the thing I'm liking about the Google goggles or whatever they're called. Is you can see through them, like, you can see your surroundings, and that can do, like, augmented reality and
Are
all that other stuff, and
Google
I
or the
love
app or the Apple Vision? Which one are you talking? What are you talking about?
Apple Vision. With the
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Apple, right?
You
Yeah.
said Google goggles. That's where I was confused.
I oh, did I say Google? I said,
Yeah.
yeah, Apple Vision, the Apple Vision. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can kinda see through them, you can see your surroundings, so that, like, kind of removes that, but like you said, not for 4 grand. It doesn't.
Yeah, so they're very careful not to call it virtual reality or augmented reality because it's spatial computing. And
Because Apple has to do it their own way and have their own words.
well, did you watch Casey Neistat's video?
No.
So he did it where he wore 'em for like a full day around New York City. So you saw people like staring at him as he's like walking down the street. So the fact that you're able to be in the environment and not and still be able to function, right? You're not completely blinded is interesting, but I don't think it's meant to be a everyday, all day wear. That would be a bit much.
Yeah. I don't know who would do that. I just need
The
to be
funny,
able to see if my wife is coming at me with a knife or not. That's always important to me.
well, the funny thing is you're not really seeing through it. You're seeing a representation of the world on the video.
Oh, really? You're not
Yeah.
actually seeing through the glasses? It's like a
Mm-mm.
camera projection
Right.
thing?
It's got so many cameras outside, um, are pointing out and displaying what's out there inside the goggles.
Oh, I don't think I realized that. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Probably won't be doing that anytime soon, but it's interesting looking at. I do like the idea of like sitting on a plane and having my entire workstation in front of me. Yeah, I've seen that where people like have made, and I guess what I didn't realize is that I don't want to talk too much more about this, but uh
Mhm.
there, it's like smart enough to know if you're moving or not moving, and if you're not moving, it puts objects in space that you can then walk around. So like you can have your
Mhm.
screen, your computer screen, but then you can, walk around it and go to something else. I thought
Right.
that's I can't imagine like the coding involved for that. I just can't. As a developer, I just can't get my head around that.
Yeah. I do like that, like you said, being on a plane where you don't have the possibility of somebody looking over your shoulder at whatever you're working on, or you're watching a movie that maybe not appropriate for an airplane. Not
Mhm.
like, uh, yeah. I was trying to say not that kind of movie, but you know what I mean.
Well, what's that sound? Dung, da, dung, dung, or whatever the whatever the Pornhub intro is. You
Uh,
see it on and I mean, the big reason I know it is because you see it on the TikTok. You see it on TikTok. It's like, I love reaction videos. All right,
yep.
so what do we got to talk about today, John?
Well, I can tell you we had a nice little influx of ticket sales this week for PHP Tech.
Hmm.
Super excited about that. Uh, we're in the final stage where we have got to start getting our banners made and swag made and whatever else we're going to be bringing, because the countdown is real and scary at the same time.
Where are we at? I see you
I'm pulling out
looking things up.
67 days.
Days of Tech.
God. Where'd they go? Weren't we just at 90?
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. We went from it's not until next year to wait a minute. What? It's happening when? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about our focus. Yep, that's coming up real quick. Really
Oh no.
excited about the speakers.
PHPUgly listener discount code. I forgot we had that.
Oh yeah. Scan your QR code now and see what that gets you.
Honestly, I forget what it
You know,
was.
honestly, I don't even know. I don't even want to put a number out there because I don't even know what it is.
Because it's probably going to be wrong. Uh, yeah, if you're going, let us know in Discord, like that you're going to be there, and if you're not, let us know why. Like, is it purely travel costs? Can't get time off of work? Work won't send you?
Yep,
What
let
is it?
us know. Um, Speaking of tech, we've been doing some work for to the PHP tech.tv site. The only reason I bring that up is because if you have bought a ticket, um, right now I need to manually import, but we're going to make it automated here soon. But if you
Mhm.
have bought a ticket, you didn't have a ticket last year, you can actually log in and see last year's talks. So buying a ticket to the conference gets you access to phptech.tv as well as you can view all the previous conferences, which right now is just 2023 is all we have on there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I need to do another import. We just deployed those updates a couple days ago, and I just need to do another import, especially with all the ticket sales we've had over the last few days. I'm like, wow, that was a lot of tickets. Which is I'm not complaining, but that was a lot of
Mhm.
tickets. I need to get my import going.
I need to get my local phptech.tv site working, which right as of right now, it's just getting the database working. I just haven't taken the time. leaving in the middle of the day to go to the wrong field for a baseball practice doesn't help in taking the time to do that. But
Yeah,
I want to get that webhook done so we can have the automated import as people buy tickets
right.
automatically added to the site.
Right. Uh, so you heading out of town next week? Is that what I heard? Or is that something we
Yeah.
don't talk about? Or
No, we can. So next week is ski week for our school district. Like the entire
Mhm.
district gets the week off. And originally we were going to go camping just uh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's supposed to rain again next week and just be crappy weather. And camping in the rain just does not sound like fun. So last minute, my wife found a nice small house in Big Bear. So we're gonna go up there for a few days.
I keep telling you, a PHP architect needs to buy a house in Big Bear that we can just have and be Airbnb when we don't want to be there. For listeners of the show who might not understand what John meant by ski week, here in Southern California, they are like the most privileged kids in the world. And the school district, at least our school district, the one John's in is the same one my kids were in. They came to the reality that during a certain time of year, their attendance would plummet because the families would want to go skiing, and you can do that in Southern California, even though it's nice and sunny on the beach. You drive a couple hours, sometimes not even a couple hours, but mainly the big ski lodge is like 3 hours from San Diego. So you drive a few hours up to this big ski lodge, and you're in major snow, great powder, skiing. So the school districts would realize that they get this plummet in attendance. When the attendance goes down, they don't like get as much money. Like you get so much money per kid who's in school. So they just decided, okay, listen, we're just gonna tell everybody we'll give everybody a week off in February, and everybody can go skiing at the same time.
Hmm.
And
See,
what's funny, it's like it like well, it worked, but what was cool is if you actually went to one of the ski lodges, you, like, run into people from your neighborhood because there's only a few here in Southern California that are really, like, capable of good skiing and stuff. So you're walking around town, and all of a sudden you're running into, somebody your kid goes to school with. It's like, "Hey, yeah, that's cool."
I didn't realize the schools get money based on the number of kids in school, and so my kid was out of school for like a week and a half a couple months ago, and we started getting hounded by some district person. We need you to sign this contract that you're going to do homeschooling for these days, so we can still get money for their attendance. I was like, "What? Really?"
Really?
Yeah, it's like a whole thing. Like as long as you agree that they're going to do whatever work the teacher assigns to them, they can still count that kid in their attendance or however they get their money.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I knew that they were paid per kids that were attending, but I didn't know that that was an option.
Well, I didn't realize it was down to number of kids per day. I assumed it was number of kids enrolled in the school,
Mhm.
right? Not like where they fretted if they were out for more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what their cutoff is, but for some reason my kid was sick for like 2 weeks in a row.
Mm. See, money. Way to work the work. Way to work and get yourself and a coworker a full week of tech, huh? That's
Nice.
awesome. What's current wife saying? We lost SoCal kid on the slopes one year because she ran into another family from school. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, they just disappear. I was willing to write them off, but current wife's like, no, I'm pretty sure we need to find them. So, all right. Let's see what have I been doing as far as code goes? We don't have a lot on our Trello board,
We
which is
don't.
going to be tough, but um
Why don't we
Yeah,
why don't we thank a sponsor before we get into your week? How about that, Mister?
that
I'm trying to
is a fantastic idea. Are you trying to
I was,
message me?
no, I was trying to find it
Mm,
and it wasn't working.
what? What do you mean it's not working? All
I
right.
keep going to the wrong spot. Oh yeah, it's over here. That's why. Thanks to our friends at honeybadger.io for sponsoring this podcast. Monitoring, like web development, can be complicated. There are tons of tools and techniques, but you just want to know that your app is up and that your customers are happy. When your customers encounter a problem, you need clear, actionable intelligence, not walls of charts and reams of logs to tail. That's why they built Honeybadger, the monitoring tool we always wanted. A tool that's there when you need it and gets out of your way when you don't, so that you can keep shipping code, know when critical errors occur, and which customers are affected. Respond instantly when your systems go down. Improve the health of your systems over time and fix problems before your customers can report them. Honeybadger is the application health monitoring tool built for you, the developer who cares about a quality product and happy customers. Be the hero of your team and sign up for a free trial and start monitoring today at honeybadger.io. Setup takes as little as 5 minutes. See what you've been missing and fix it. Once again, that's www.honeybadger.io. Thank you, Honey
Yeah, Honey
Badger.
Badger. So a funny thing happened. I do
What's up?
love being in the PHP community, but like if you're in the community long enough, you kind of like feel like you've met everybody. And I'm like quickly approaching that. Not that it's a bad thing. I enjoy it. But Mike Page in our Discord started working for us and he's working on a project. And yeah, I was explaining to them or trying to explain to them. First thing, this is when I really like start to realize how bad I am at my job is when I try to explain things to other people. But I was trying to explain to them the benefits of value objects, right? And why we're using them and how you use them. And so, I went and found a website. I'm like, hey, this website has a pretty good write up on value objects, and uh, he's reading it and I'm reading it, and I'm looking at who wrote it, right? And I'm like, Wendell, this name seems familiar. I feel like I know this person. I wonder if they're talking at tech. So I go to the tech website. I'm like, no, no, they're not talking at tech. And I check out their avatar here on their about page. I'm like, yeah, no, I totally know this person. They had just submitted. They just did like last month. They were like the feature article in PHP Architect magazine. And so I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, dude, how about this article? Like, do an article on value objects, man. This is a great blog post." I haven't heard back from him. I think he's ghosted me. I must have upset him or something. But yeah,
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
yeah, that's
Here,
I love that. It's like when I run into people I know, even if it's virtually.
I went ahead and added that to the show notes.
Yeah, I was just getting there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, value object. Actually, reading his, I think it was reading his article on value objects. I checked a few links, but I realized I was actually doing, but I was doing my constructor wrong because I've been using value objects in previous projects, and honestly, I didn't really think much about it. But I've been making the variables public, and I guess you don't do that. The variables are supposed to be private because if they're public, then somebody can change the value later
So
in the
so
code.
yes and no. The new way with PHP 8 is make them public read only.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you know what? I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So nowadays with the public read only, you don't have to have getters for everything, right? You can just access it. What's in the value object. It's supposed to be immutable by design. You're supposed to create it and you're done. Nothing changes. So it's a read-only class, or all of your properties are read-only, and you're good to go.
Okay. Not that I'm going to check to see how I did it now, but I'm going to check. I did make them read only. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I guess I should have. Well, actually, they're not on. Oh, maybe they will be on. So they're developing a package, and a package that people can install. That's an interesting thought. So, do you make the package require PHP 8 or higher? Because that's what's supported now, right? It's only PHP 8 and higher is what's supported.
Right. Yep.
So that's a reasonable ask.
It is. Or you make it use rector, and then you can have a version that will work for lower for PHP 7.
Oh. Have you ever done that?
I have not. So we
I
use
need to get my head around.
So I work with somebody who uses rector a lot, and he's written custom rector rules, and he would be really good at that. But it's, we've used it to go up in versions, but I know you can use it to go down in versions, because there's a great PHP Architect magazine that has a whole article based on that.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with what rector is, like John said, if you know what Laravel shift is, it's kind of like that, but for everything, for all PHP, not just Laravel applications. And yeah, I've read some great articles on it, and I just haven't had the time to try to actually do it.
So it's daunting because it's so powerful, and if you try to run it against your code base, especially if an existing big code base, it's too much information. So it really is one of those things where you got to start at level 0 and baby step your way up, and make rector happy with your code before you. Or no, I'm thinking PHP stand. Never mind. Scratch that. I am on the wrong library. See, I haven't really done a whole lot with rector.
That's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should take the opportunity to do this, because I do remember we had an article in PHP Architect, or somebody did a talk at Tech last year about using rector to create multiple supported versions of like a package, which is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was the PHP magazine issue. It's really a downgrade.
It's really a
And
downgrade.
I think was the title of it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it really, you can write modern code and then make your package work for, earlier versions of PHP. Yep.
Yeah. What month was that?
I'm not sure. I want to say like September 2021.
I thought you had it open. I would have looked if you didn't have it open.
Nah.
You have like having the database handy. So
yeah.
Rector. So speaking of the magazine, are we doing are attendees for Tech getting their year digital like last year?
I haven't talked to my business partner about that yet.
Yeah, here he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But if you are a supporter on our Patreon and you're doing a level of $5 or higher, you get your a magazine subscriber. I had somebody ask what they have to do if they're a subscriber, and what they have to do to log in. What is that workflow? Do they just go in and do a password reset, or do they get an email?
Password reset.
Okay, so they just go in and do a password reset, and they don't get any sort of notification welcoming to PHP Architect.
I don't know. I don't think so. That would be smart, but no.
I didn't think so either.
I think because we did it, like the mass of them like live on the show and we talked about it. I don't think I did anything beyond that.
Yeah.
So I did find it. It was September 2021, but it's really an upgrade, not really a downgrade.
2021.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that old.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. You know what? I'm gonna try to set something up. You keep talking. Just ignore me. You just go through your Trello cards.
So just like normal.
something.
You know what I forgot to do is
Pretty much.
move over PHP Tech. If you are coming to PHP Tech, I just sent out an email asking everyone to download. It's not even a download. Use the progressive web app on tech.phparch.com and start starring the talks you want to go to, because that's going to help Eric and I determine what rooms some of the talks are in. So they might get moved a little bit.
Yeah. You don't forget to do that.
Yeah. We got good feedback already. There's already been quite a few people that have done it. Just prior to going on air, I saw a friend of the show, Ben Ramsey, talking about Laravel. Oh, are you sharing something?
I'm getting ready to.
All right. I feel bad. We've got so many friends in the community that have been looking for work. And his point was he's been looking for 3 months trying to find something, which is scary. But it doesn't help that the tech industry has had so many layoffs, so there's so many people looking. But he pointed to a blog post about why Laravel could see a huge rise in adoption in 2024. And he's pointing out that forget what he said. Basically, they're not really paying for high-end developers for some of these jobs. They're not like some of the other languages that are out there, which are paying a little bit more, which surprises me with how big PHP is. But I don't know if it's just because there's so many PHP developers that people are finding cheaper, or how that's working.
Well, it's that quintessential issue that we've had with PHP in general for such a long time, is that the barrier of entry is so low to actually create an application from using PHP, or if you want to use a framework using something like Laravel. Like, you don't have to have a computer science degree to understand the principles around the Laravel framework. And so you start to piece things together pretty quickly, and you get in these situations where you have companies who don't have developers as managers realizing, oh, this person says they have Laravel experience and they're willing to work for half as much as this person is, so I'm just going to hire this person because when I talk to them, they say things to me like eloquent and facade, and it sounds like they know what they're talking about, so I'm going to go ahead and hire them. And it's just like, and they, it's, hey, you get in however you want to get in. But I've noticed from the years of us running a company, we've worked from both sides of it, where we've worked for companies and we've taken on contracts with the people who really didn't have any concept around coding or the effort involved, and just expected things to get puked out very quickly and perfect. Like, first thing, if you go into a contract, and this is just me speaking from my experience as a person who runs a business who survives off of PHP, a red flag for you, if you're a contractor or something, is if you're talking to a potential client and they say, hey, we just want you to build this and can you have it done in a month? Even if you think you can have it done in a month, which is fine, but chances are is if they're saying something so generic like that, they haven't really scoped the project correctly, first off. But if they have a concept of, hey, you're going to build this and then you can go away, we're just going to keep using it, and don't realize that, no, you're going to need a developer to manage the application moving forward, because you're going to want to make changes. There are going to be things that are broken, and that's how development works. So if they have the concept of you're going to build something and then leave, that should be a red flag to you. I don't think they know what they're talking about too well. And those are the ones that hire these bargain basement developers. And there's nothing wrong with being a bargain basement developer. I think we all did our time taking on jobs at a cut rate because we just we wanted to code and we wanted to build up our portfolio
and feed our families.
Yeah. Now, the reverse side of that, the contract we just took on, the person who brought us in is very understanding of development. As a matter of fact, they were the company's developer. They are the company's developer for like 10, 20 years.
20,
and what's so nice about that is like you get through all the cruff. You don't have to explain to them why writing tests are good, even though it takes more time because you have to create more code. It saves you time in the long run. You don't have to explain that sort of stuff. It's such a great experience. I think our last contract kind of ruined me for contracts moving forward. Like that's all I'm looking for now. I was like, I don't want to even talk to you unless you have an established developer and let me talk to them.
We've got a couple of small clients that just don't know development or just throw out just the most random stuff, and it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. I'm not one. If you're a very small, like if you don't hire somebody full time, if you don't bring on a full time contractor or bring in a company like ours for more than a normal work week, you can't expect something to be dropped as soon as you email or send a message.
Right.
Yeah, we're guaranteeing that we're around and we'll respond in a reasonable amount of time, but it's not going to be as soon as you bark.
We're not on call 24/7 for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even
we are for some of our bigger clients.
Well, yeah, kind of are. It's funny because we have clients that we've had for a long time, and to this day, I'll get emails of, "Hey, we want to integrate with this service. How long would that take?" And it's like some service I've never heard of. It's very, very specific to their field that they have. And I'm like, yeah, you've given me no information. I have no development documentation. I don't know what the word integrate means for you because I don't know what we're integrating with. So I'm going to say it's going to take us a month and a half. How's that?
I'm just going to pull a number out.
I actually have a template of, where that's what I ask them, like, where are their development documentations? What's the authentication? How many endpoints are we going to hit? And, just boom, send it out.
Buttery is having an issue on PHP Arch. I'm going to take the blame on that because I was doing it live today and I might have broken something.
He says, by the way, you're talking about that last message from him? Or?
Yep.
Is that I get a save user failed error on PHP Arch?
I'll look at that.
Log in and reset my password.
Right after this. Maybe we'll look at it live at the end of the podcast.
We'll do it live. I love that.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. We've really got to redo phparch.com.
I know, man. I know. I can't. I just. Yeah, I agree. We need to find that time to just start building it out. There's so many things I would like to do. All right, so I tried to do something last week, and I'm going to go ahead and do it now. I wanted to share this ARC. How would you pronounce ARC?
ARC. Yep.
This new ARC browser. A friend of mine brought it to my attention. I'm not a big fan of switching around browsers, although I've done it many times in the past. Uh, I I was a Brave user for a very long time before coming back to Chrome. Never really took to Safari too much. I was on Firefox for a long time, but like, yeah, the idea of switching to another browser again, I'm just kind of like I'm just not feeling it. I'm kind of changing my opinion a little bit. Like I'm seeing a lot of benefit to this Arc browser, but it's very specific to me and how I do things. So this is the Arc browser that I'm sharing. Can you see my mouse? Okay, you can see the mouse.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm sharing the Arc browser. For the audio listeners, I'll try my best to walk you through this, but this is really like the visual part of the show. So the first thing that's really cool about this is I talked previously about how I use Chrome's grouping tab groups, right? And the fact that you can save tab groups now. So that's what I do a lot because I work on a lot of clients and I work on a lot of projects. So I would create these tab groups that would have a bunch of tabs in it that were related to that project or client. But there were some drawbacks to that. The biggest drawback for me was when I wanted to do things for like PHP Architect, I had another profile for PHP Architect in Chrome that I would open up, and it would be its own window, and I'd go find it because I didn't want to have to log into like Mastodon again and a couple of other things that don't share credentials. Twitter's okay 'cause you can have multiple accounts in one, but Mastodon was like the big one. So I would have like these other browser windows open, and it was just a pain because I'd have to try to find the browser window. Well, Arc, eh, for me, there's a lot of like paradigm shifts on how you think about how you do things. But one of the coolest things it has, one of the coolest features it has, is down here at the bottom. You can set up essentially profiles. I think they call them profiles. What do they call them? They call them spaces. They're not spaces. So the cool thing about a space. So I'm going to walk you through my spaces real fast and kind of explain. Hopefully, I don't do any information leak, but um, let's talk about this for a second. You notice there's no address bar or anything up here. It's all here on this left side, right? This left side drawer
Hmm.
that pulls out. And this can actually go away. So this is like one of the nice things. Like once you start using Arc and you understand how to do things, you can have like the full real estate of your screen. You don't have tabs, you don't have toolbars. It's just the web page or whatever you're working on. As a Vim person, I'm going to put out there, and somebody who likes working with their keyboard, Arc is very appealing because they have a ton of keyboard shortcuts to do things. I haven't learned them all yet, but the one that I do know that I use a lot is the T key that brings up like this little search tool thing, which is where you'd put your like links in or whatever you're working on, right? So I can just
Okay.
do PHPUgly, whatever. But and they don't so this is the hardest thing that I'm struggling with is that it doesn't have a concept of bookmarks. There are no bookmarks. Everything is a tab, and you can have pinned tabs that are that function like a bookmark. Like these are tabs that you will always have access to, but they don't call them bookmarks. And then this bottom half, these are temporary tags. So these are only here for a while. And I think I haven't I haven't noticed enough to see if it's real or not. But if you don't use a tab for a while, it like stashes it away or something.
Oh,
But
really?
these go away, right?
Okay.
These buttons up here, these are just like things I use frequently. And you'll
Did
see
you
like this.
did you have to manually put those up there, or does it Arc know
Yeah,
you use
so you
those a
just
lot?
grab
And
like Reddit, boom, now that's up there. That's all it is. That's all
gotcha.
that is. So this is where I'll have all my personal Twitter, Mastodon, Blue Sky is right here.
You
But
still Blue Sky?
trying.
Oh,
I'm trying to get into Blue Sky. Dude,
okay.
there's so many PHP people on Blue Sky now. It's crazy. Look at all this PHP stuff. This is all PHP.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to do it. I think I literally have one post on Blue Sky. That was before the game on Sunday is all I have out there. So I have it up here because I kind of go through my socials. And it's cool because like I hover over this calendar, I don't even have to open it up. It shows me what's coming up and where I'm at in the day. Same thing with email. I'm not going to hover over email, but it's kind of the same thing. So they have these little these little window peaks for certain things.
Don't forget to bring your trash cans back up.
Yeah, I need to bring the trash cans back up. Yeah, today was trash day, so yeah. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so at the bottom here, they have these spaces, and I know why they don't call them profiles. So if I stay on a space long enough, you can see that I'm actually using a profile called Eric Van Johnson. That's my personal one. And you can actually create multiple spaces that use the same profile. So what that buys for you is it allows you to have some consistency as far as like uh, the websites you visit and things. But each space that opens up is almost like an incognito. It's not incognito. It's not hiding anything on the browser, but it's
It's
a new
just not
session.
not sharing credentials, not sharing
Right.
cookies.
Cookies. It's not sharing cookies or anything. So if as I come across, this is client one. So if I come over to client one, you can see I have client one, laid out a little differently. We have team meetings at client one, and I have special, I have links that I go. I have my same email and stuff set up on that I have on my personal one, just so I don't have to switch back over to the other space just to check email. Because if I'm in this space working, this client one working, I still want to have access to my email. Same thing with client two. I come over here to client two, and client two has a different set of links that I have up here. For like Jira, they use Jira, they use a few other things, but like these up here, are all still the same. This is still my calendar, but again, it's not sharing with that other space. So I'm creating these spaces based on like projects, and I have a PHP architect. So PHP architect is when it really starts to get handy, right? Because now when I click on Mastodon, I'm on the PHP architect Mastodon. If I click on Twitter, I'm on the PHP architect Twitter, and I can stay in those spaces and those tabs without losing anything, which is really nice. Of course, I have a PHP architect one, same thing. I have my Mastodon, I have my Twitter. It's all right here. You know, everything's here. In scale is a perfect example. That's actually this last space. I have a different email and a different calendar for scale, because I'm working with scale, and I have a scale email address. I have access to their Twitter. I have access to their Mastodon. So I just open up this scale space,
Hmm.
and I'm already logged into everything. It's really, really that piece of it is really nice. The one thing that isn't nice, in all transparency, is things like plugins. So I have to have my Vim plugin, and I have to have password 1Password plugin on everywhere I go. Right, like it's not an option not to have that. Well,
Right.
because these are not sharing sessions, it's not aware of whatever plugin you have on your first uh, session or space. So you have to like install all this stuff again.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like, I'm okay with it.
So
It's got some.
can you open multiple windows with each having its own being in a different space, or are you literally in one window the entire time?
So, no, not from different spaces. But what you can do, check this out, is you can split screens, and you split screens as many times as you want. Let me see what else. I'll just open up this. Oh, shit. Let me split that screen. Uh, I'm still learning these things. So you see, everything has keyboard shortcuts. I just haven't learned them yet.
Hmm.
So I'm like using my mouse a lot. Let's see. Can I just? I think I can just drag it. Yeah, there you go. So you have this like concept to split screens, which is kind of cool.
That
Uh,
would be that could be so confusing too, though. I could see that being nice if you're working on something specifically, but
mhm.
could also see it being very confusing.
Yeah, I don't use this a ton. Um, I have a tendency. I just don't use it. You can like create other windows, so you can create. I forget what it's called, and I honestly don't remember how to do it. But you can create like these separate windows that aren't connected to this window, and it becomes like its own browser. Um, so one interesting thing is like if you so I'm on this Epic Music right now. This is the service we use to play all our music. And if you click around, I think I actually think it needs to be a tab. I think it needs to be this tab. If I click around, does it do it here? Yeah, it does. Okay. So as I'm clicking around and I'm looking for things, right? If you look up here, so since this was a tabbed uh, bookmark or whatever you want to call it, link, but I have ventured away from what the original tab was. That's why it has this little slash in front of it. I don't know if that you can see that on the screen or not, but there's a little slash. And the whole principle of that is you can just like rewind it back to the starting point of that tab. So I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I had already realized like I couldn't always remember like where something should go, like what space a tab should go on. And back in the Google world, when you have multiple profiles open, you can't grab tabs from one profile and drag it over to the other profile. But here you actually can. So like this one right here, I can take this and I can move it to uh, PHPUgly, right? And I can make it a pin tab over there. So if I do that, oh, I'm on PHPUgly. Sorry about that. I can move, I can move it to PHP Architect, and we'll make it a pin tab over there. So now, boom, it moved me over to PHP Architect. Or actually, it moved me over to Client One. I must have hit Client One and made it a pin tab. Now you
The
lose your session. So if I would,
for
if
some,
I had been logged into this, I would not be logged in anymore. Go ahead.
I think I was missing it when you clicked on that. I didn't see the other spaces pop up. Like
Oh, do you not
almost,
see the
nah.
oh,
So
I'm sorry. You're not seeing it. So yeah, there's a pop-up menu here that comes up.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, because you're
So
sharing just a window, not the.
yeah.
That's
Sorry
yeah.
about that.
That's all right.
So
I was just
so
confused
yeah.
for a minute.
Um so yeah, this is interesting. So check this out. Again, it's a different way of thinking of things, but depending on how a link works, if you I gotta find where that link was now. If you click on something, I think if it takes you off of the page you're on, let me see, is that it? Yeah. So if you click on something that takes you away from the page you're on, it actually pops it up um, as a pop-up window, right? You do that. So it's like a pop-up window that you can then add it to a split by doing this, or you could just make it. Oh, when I guess now because I've already opened it, it just makes it its own page. Yeah, it made it its own page. Yeah. So that's the other option is see sometimes it opens up in a different tab. I don't understand what does that. Like I don't get that. There are features on this that I'm not sure how they work. But sometimes it opens it up in a new tab. Sometimes it opens it up as as a pop-up, and then you can tell it to make it a new tab, or you can add it to a split. I don't know. It's a different
Bottom line,
world.
are you recommending this browser?
Not yet. Not as a developer. To be honest with you, I don't think I am. First thing, the loading bar is a very thin strip up top here. Like you can barely see it. I would have to go to a website that might be slow on loading for you to even see it. But if for me as a developer, let me click around. Let me get into this site a little bit. So if I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out where I'm at, the only address bar you have, even if you keep this open, the only address bar you have is this. And it's very small. So you have to click on this and then find out where you're at, the total URI. I don't know as a whole, if I don't like the product. I'm using it and I do like these spaces. I don't know if I can switch to another browser first. It is Chromium based, so it's basically Chrome under the hood. You're not kind of like a Brave situation, right? You're not losing
Mm,
anything. They're not trying to reinvent the browser, the the engine, right? It's all
mhm.
Chromium. But yeah, I don't know where I'm at on it yet. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with it. I don't It's definitely not my full-time browser. Um, I do love this full, like, give me all my real estate. Let me see where everything is. And it has other features like I haven't really gotten into where it has you can, do screenshots. Oh, it has this is interesting. Let me see if I can get to it. If I scroll over, it has these easels and notes. So you can like create notes that it's kind of like a Obsidian, I guess, but it's all within your browser and it has these easels where you can draw stuff. I don't really know who that's for, but it's there. I mean, maybe obviously somebody uses it because they built it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But
I don't know.
in Discord, Colin just said they use Arc and they don't remember how, but there's a dev mode for the tabs.
There's a dev mode for the tabs. What I wonder what dev mode does though, right? I mean,
Mhm.
what's that? What does that mean exactly? Because I mean, I can still open up my inspector, which I assume just acts like this is just a normal Chromium inspector, which is helpful. I mean, this is definitely a big plus here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like my mouse, little things like this. My mouse has one of these like here I'll hold it up. It has this like side wheel here. So
Uh-huh.
if I'm over here on my spaces, I can actually just scroll through my spaces. Um, yeah, and these have keyboard shortcuts too. So that's where I spend a lot. So I have Vimium installed on all my spaces. So between the keyboard shortcuts that are in Arc already and the Vimium stuff, I do have to reach for my mouse less. I feel like um, using Arc. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't not like it, but I'm not ready for it to be my browser yet. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
The good thing is, as developers, again, it's using Chromium, so we don't. It's not like a IE6 Firefox Chrome day back in the day where you were trying to like get your website to look the same across all these platforms. That's a plus. Um, yeah, I don't know, man.
Well,
It's different.
I look forward to hearing your continued experience with it. I
There
just
will be no
downloaded it.
continuation.
I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up or not based on that final review. Right when I was asking if you recommended it, I hit download, and then you're like, I don't know. I'm like, ah, crap.
I mean, I would recommend it for you. I wouldn't like have like my mom or sister switch over to it because it would just be too much. But I think us as people in the field, it doesn't hurt to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me we're running a little long.
Mhm.
I do want to make sure I let our Patreon supporters know how much we appreciate them. We
Thank
have
you,
a new
everyone.
We have a new Patreon supporter that I didn't get a chance to update the screens this week, but I'll try to get you on next week. Um, yeah, I'll get
Speaking
you
of
on next week.
speaking of next week, we're gonna have to figure something out. My schedule is pretty busy, but I also have baseball practice at 4 o'clock, which means I gotta leave here right around when we normally start. So, do you think we could squeeze this in at noon our time, a little earlier?
I mean, I'm sure I could. I don't know how our listeners would feel about it, but next
Hopefully,
Thursday.
I I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, I have an 11 to 12, a 2 to 2:45, and then baseball practice. So we're figuring out calendars as we go.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. Next week we will be broadcasting at 12 o'clock our time, PST time. So, um, yeah, set your clocks appropriately, I guess. That is that'll be early. That'll be
Yeah,
different.
it will be
Looking forward
different.
to that.
Hopefully, different in a
Um,
good way.
yeah. What else is I gonna tell you? Yeah, I got and I do have Scale coming up. So when Scale's here, we might need to skip that week. I don't know because I'm not going. Scale starts on like a win. No, it's actually Scale starts on Thursday, and I'm not going out until Friday. So yeah, I'll be good that week. Actually, I'm missing the first day of Scale, but I will be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for anybody who might be going. Let me know if you're going. I always like to hang out with my PHP folks, PHP peeps, whenever I can. I don't think I'm doing anything at Scale. Like I'm being told that I'm getting a volunteer pass because of the work that I did leading up to Scale. And it's nice because of the volunteer pass, it's basically like backstage pass. You can go wherever you want, whenever you want. But I don't know if they're expecting me to do anything for that. Yeah, I think we're good. Now, tomorrow's a big day for me.
What's going on?
I'm finally getting my solar installed, so I'm very excited about that. It's been a very long process. Even when I finally agreed to go with a solar company, which in itself took like a year of me like talking to different companies and not really liking what they were doing or finding bad things out about them. The solar company that I went with, which is called Sunrun, I'm not like trying to be secretive about it. I think I think is a brand, like a brand across the US. I don't know for sure, but they have been trying to get the permits to install in my house for since October. Yeah, September, October is when we signed the contracts, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we'll get the permits next week, and we'll be out there the following week to install the solar." I'm like, "Okay." And like, it's like, what are we in February now? They're finally coming out. So
And the sad
excited
part is,
about that.
once they get it installed, you still have to wait like X weeks before you can actually turn it on.
Yeah,
They
yeah, I
install it, and then
know,
it's
I
got to
know
come out and
that.
be inspected. And
They're they're in no rush to come out and inspect those things. When I had solar installed at my previous place, I think it took like a month and a half because like the electric company, like they don't want anybody to sign off on it. Like the longer they can not have you, you know, use it, the better. And this is even so the house I was at previously, I purchased the solar and it was just solar. It was solar that fed directly into the house, and in theory, if it was feeding more than I was using, it was feeding back to the city grid. And what was supposed to happen is you were supposed to get credits for that. The problem I had with it, I always had with it, was the system I had, there was no way they weren't monitoring what I was sending back to the grid. So
Really?
like, yeah. So like the electric company would be like, yeah, here's your $4 for the electricity you sent back to the grid, And it's like, wait, no, I'm pretty like we were like out of the house for 3 weeks this year where no electricity was being used at the house. You're trying to tell me that's all I sent back? So I take it you do see what you send back to the city?
Yeah, nothing. Very
You
little.
don't send anything. So the
I mean,
cool thing about
I
this,
do. It's just we use so much at night, and you know, when it's not sunny
it
out, that it kind of offsets.
right, right, but at least you have an idea
Mhm.
of what you should be getting as far as a credit. And the funny thing about it is, at least back when I did it, the credit you got was not the same amount that they charged people to use the electricity. So, like, the same electricity you were sending to them, they were still making money off of it because, it was frustrating. So my new system that I'm having put in, has the Tesla batteries. So I'll have 2 Tesla batteries on the house that basically take all the energy the solar produces. I mean, in theory, again, you can top off your batteries and start sending back to the city again, but that's not really something that happens too frequently. And the cool thing about it is you run on batteries at night. So according to my sales guy, which I don't believe, they said that I can run up to a week on my batteries. I'm like, "You don't know how much
What?
electricity I use." Well, that's why they put 2 in. I'm like, "Dude, you don't know how much electricity I use." Like, I have computers and running all the time, but if I can run a day on my batteries, like, just if I can just get through the night on my battery, I'll be I'll be happy. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. I'm I don't trust salesmen, and I definitely don't trust solar salesmen because they're like one step they're in step with like used car salesmen. And if you're a used car salesman or a solar salesman listening to the podcast, I apologize. I'm speaking from my experience. But I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know how it goes, and I'm looking forward to it. We just lost electricity for like an hour last week, and it was like, damn, if we just had our solar, this wouldn't be a problem. Okay.
Oof.
I feel like that's it. Yeah, anything else you'd
Yep.
like to talk about?
No, you made me go look at my solar use, my energy usage, and it's not good.
Oh, really?
I saw 1 month. Yeah, December I produced less than 500 kilowatts, and I used almost 1,000.
I was always bad at like tracking that stuff, and I should have been better. I'm gonna try to be better. I'm gonna try to be better this solar system, this solar system I'm having installed. And it's different. Like I said, I bought the solar at my previous place. This one I'm not. So I don't own the equipment. I just I'm paying somebody differently than the electric company for my electricity, but it's at a set rate that I actually got to negotiate. Like I negotiated them down. They were when the negotiation initially started, they wanted to charge me the basically the high end of what I pay on a monthly basis, like during the summer when I have the air conditioning running. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. It's been fun talking to you, but that doesn't make sense to me. And they're like, well, you got to understand, like, your electric bill is going to keep going up. This you're locking in for the length of the contract. Like, it increases like 3% every year, but it's going to be 3%. It's not like the electric company that says, okay, we're raising everybody's bill by 10%.
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, but you're still charging me the high end. So, I was doing it. I had this whole spreadsheet, me and my Google spreadsheets. I had this whole spreadsheet. I was showing the guy. I'm like, if you charge me this and this is so like, he's like, well, what if I can get it lowered? That was a mistake. 'Cause then I realized it's like, wait a minute, can we negotiate this? Because first thing, you should be giving me the lowest rate to begin with. So I'm already, and I told the guy, I'm like, the fact that you're not giving me the lowest rate, I already have a problem with this conversation. So go get the best rate and let me know what it's going to be. And so he comes back with a better rate. I'm like, thank you. So this is the lowest? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I appreciate that. Thanks for your time. Goodbye. And lo and behold, they went lower. So I was end of day, I was actually really happy with it. And because I wanted to buy the equipment. I really didn't want to rent the equipment. But the guy made a good argument where he was like, with the batteries are the problem, right? Because if you get the maximum life out of the batteries, you'll get 10 years. And then you have to spend another $20,000 to replace the battery. So expect to spend $20,000 every 10 years. And that was like the breaking point where in my math, it's like, okay, if I'm having to spend $20,000, I'd break even the first year, but 20 years from now, I would start to lose a little money, but I could be dead. I'll probably be dead in 20 years. So should I really worry about that? But yeah, so I'm renting. I'm a little weird about it.
I was gonna bring that up. That's the one thing I heard about Sunrun is that you're leasing it versus buying it, and pros and cons.
Yeah, it definitely has, and you can buy from Sunrun, but they really, really push the lease on you. So I think with the battery, I'm like, all right, I guess this makes sense. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. I'll let everybody know.
Sounds
I'm getting
good.
a Tesla. I keep telling everybody I'm getting a Tesla. I'm finally getting a Tesla. Just a battery. Just a battery, but
you got it. All right.
Okay, C Money shared what developer mode looks like. Oh, okay.
Let's talk about it on the post show.
We will. We will talk. I will actually enable that, C Money, if you want to hang out with us for the post show. But for now, that's going to do it for episode 372. I'm Eric.
And I'm John. Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
We really need to find a new rapper that we can thrust into the limelight and make them successful. Right, let me see if this works. I'm going to try to play some background music here from our music service.
Trying to figure out what happened with Buttery's change because mine. I was able to reset my password just fine, but I might have an idea.
Are you hearing music? I'm not hearing any
Yep.
music.
Yep, I hear it. Yep.
Damn. I wonder why I'm not. Here. I don't know why I'm not hearing it, but I'll take it. Workout Kid says they hear nothing.
What are you playing?
Just from that service we have.
I mean, I'm hearing it.
I paused. I just not paused. Did it pause?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not hearing it. But whatever. If I switch this, if I switch it, I don't hear it at all. That's weird. Okay. So let me set up this developer mode.
You're playing. It's from that service because it's. I mean, it's not clean. It's got explicit lyrics.
Oh, I have another one that I think should have
that
clean lyrics.
Not that I care, but
I know, but yeah, nobody. Depending on your preference. See, let me see if I hear it when I go over here.
if I delete this, now I come back over. If you're hanging out with us now, the show's over. We're just kind of hanging out, talking, and I'm doing stuff live on PHP Architect.
This is how we roll.
Password reset for me.
I'm going to C-Money. I'm going to enable that here in a second. I do appreciate you sharing that with me. Let me put these in here. I want to see if I can hear any of this. Are you hearing music again?
Yep.
Damn it! Why can't I hear music? All right. Well, I think that one pressure song is not clean, but variations of clean and not clean music here. Let me. You do that. I'm going to go to my Arc browser. I'm going to share this with you guys.
Buttery, I don't know what happened because it's working for me.
So my computer.
So I was able to do password reset. I got the email. I was able to reset the password and log in.
Developer, turn on developer mode.
Look, I ain't turning down to nothing. Give me the crown or something. Unit full of G's back when Lord Bay told me how to stun it.
Developer mode for this site. That's an interesting concept. So yeah, I have developer mode. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, look at that. This is handy, but I take it if I go to another site, does it go away? What if I just go to PHPUgly.com? It does. I don't know if I like that or not. I might like that. She might be good. Regular developer tools. I gotta learn these shortcuts. These for this one. So developer mode. I don't know. I might be okay with that. So because it's
Hey.
Chromium, you can still use the Google Cast, which is nice.
I don't know what that is, but hang on. Butter, if you're still here, can you try logging in again? It's still going to be broken. I just want to. I'm watching logs.
Here's something I didn't show you. Check this out.
The music's a tiny bit loud. If you're able to
Should be
lower it
able
a
to
little
take care of that. Yeah. Is that better?
Is there? No.
No? That didn't do anything?
No.
Everything.
All right. Save him.
It's gonna lower everything. Yeah. Should I just turn it off?
I mean, it's fine. It's just a little bit on the loud side.
So check this out. This is like I would consider to be kind of a cool feature. So if you're watching a YouTube video and let's say you go to another tab, go to PHPUgly, it pops out the video. So the video, I think the video follows you.
We don't see it.
Oh, you don't see the pop out. Look at that. Let me put it back on this tab. So it creates a small pop out window when you navigate away from it. What I don't know is does that pop up window stay across spaces? If we go to another, it does. So the little YouTube pop up window actually follows you around to different spaces. That's kind of cool, I guess. I would share my screen, but I can't share a partial screen, so.
All right, let me go.
Doing it live.
I'm trying to. It's so far no bueno. Let me try take that off.
Buttery. What time would 12 o'clock be for you, Buttery? Buttery, just because you are who you are, I actually have a clock that's on Japan time. Just so when we do these things, I can see how much it inconveniences you. Yeah, that would be early for you, right, Buttery? Wouldn't that be 5 a.m.? Yes, I do believe that would be very early for you. Yeah, 5 a.m. Yeah.
Well. Butter, can you hit that again? I'm still watching the logs, and I added more logging so I can try and figure this out. Can you just tell me what your password is so I can just keep trying it? Just kidding.
Password is keep it ugly.
Oh, sweet. Why did that not?
Is this something you can share your screen with, or?
Nah.
Okay.
This value is required, but it's not telling me what value. Let me try it this way.
Right. Let me see if we have any show title suggestions so we can. I think I have a
There.
thumbnail creator.
Value. It's saying something was required, but I didn't get it, and I don't know what that is. So. Oh, that's not that.
We have none.
Nope. All right, try again. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. I got you. I don't know why it thinks you need that, but I can. I added a field to the user table, and it doesn't like. It thinks it's required, and I don't know why.
Discord really needs a collapse feature. I can't. Can people just start typing Discord? I can't keep looking at this video from Buttery. Disturbing me. Rector. You put rector in show notes, right? But arc. I'll put arc in show notes. PHP. See. We'll call the show PHPUgly arc. It's the arc of the show or something. No, let's do a Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
We do.
Well, Buttery, two things. One, I don't see an account for that email address.
WordPress.
Yeah, let's delete that. We're dealing with code that we acquired.
Which is always fun.
Yeah. So
That's bad code. We just don't know our way around it.
It's old. It's very old code. Is it just? Oh, that's why. I was looking for butter. Okay. Yeah, you're fine. You're logging in correctly. I've got something functified not happening right. And I think I might be narrowing in on it.
I gotta tell you, this Google tablet, although not on the level of the iPad for sure, I'm actually much happier with it than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some kind of cool features. The biggest feature it has that I like, do you use your iPad at all?
A little bit, not a ton.
On the iPad, you can do a split screen, but you can only do it for like certain apps. Like not all apps will allow you to split screen, which is frustrating for me because one of the apps that doesn't allow you to split screen is the Ring camera. Because I have two camera systems in my house. One's the Ring that I just all it was a cheap camera I bought to watch the back door to see if the dog wants to go in and out, and I have my regular cameras for security. And I'd like to split the screen to look at both of them at the same time, and I can't because Ring doesn't allow screen splitting on the iPad. I don't know
S-
why, but they don't.
So use the home app.
Why?
So well, it integrates with Ring, and like on my home app, I can see multiple cameras.
Okay. I have been
I
trying to
think,
so
yeah.
I've actually been waiting to reach out to you about that, that so I started using the home app, when you had that, Docker, whatever that Docker thing, home bridge,
Uh huh.
and I'm just not obviously not using it correctly because
Oh, either am
well,
I by any stretch.
I need you to explain to me. I don't even have any of my cameras on my home app.
So I see it goes through here. I wish I could share, but I'm not. I don't. With the age of this stuff.
Oh, Apple frustrates me, dude. I don't have any QR code to scan. Give me another option. Okay.
Oh, I bet it's that. User. This code is old. It still has SVN on here, so I constantly have to do a grep-v with that.
I am suddenly ASMR.
Okay.
Right, that's what we're going to call it. Title's going to be Raiders of the Ark, ARC. Raiders of the Ark. That's what I'm going to call this show. Just because our Discord failed us. I'm not mad, Discord. Just
Yeah.
disappointed.
Okay, so I think that part's working.
Do not delete. This one works.
Um. Oh.
Oh, wow, I have PHP Storm running that whole time. Normally, I should have to shut that down. I can't hear the music. Workout Kid, are you making a thumbnail this week? Raiders of the Ark. Not of the Lost Ark. I understand that's the name of the movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. But it would be Raiders of the Ark because short titles. Working until 7? Oh. Prioritize things. Raiders of the Ark. I know we have Mike working for us who's just outside London in the UK. And like whenever I wake up early, like I used to wake up, I'd wake up at like 4 o'clock and I knew I had like 4 hours before I had to put my mind in the mode of thinking to talk to people. And I keep forgetting I can reach out to Mike to see how their day is going. And when I think about it, I'm like, no, it's too early for that. Like my head, it just won't let me do it. I do have to get better at that.
All right. I'm curious, Butter, if you're still there, try again. I don't like what I had to do to make it work. If this works.
I closed our Trello board. Dang it.
Because it's so hard to reopen.
Okay.
Looked like it worked for you.
Can I open a Trello board on a different?
All right. Who wants to know how I fixed it? It's so
I do. I don't know. Do
I? No. I mean, you do. I added a field and I made it not nullable with the default of an empty string. But that with the code that exists, the active record code that is using it says, oh, that is a required field when you go to save it. So because we're not passing that field in, it's now not there and it's required. Why does that keep going off? I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense, but by making it nullable, default null, it's not required and it allows everything to work just fine. But why it failed for you and not for me is another story that I'm not going to try and figure out right now. Buttery, thank you for helping me debug that live. Appreciate you.
Shit, I chase hits to make some real shit. Something that they feel cause all I know was speaking on some shit I really deal with, like how I in the morning didn't feel was tired of being single.
Hey, remember that whole there's a client that writes and like, I want this done now?
Yeah.
It's happening. Yeah, it's happening right now.
Our team is that one. Oh yeah, that's not the one I thought.
You hear me though? I ain't got no label backing me. It's just me and my girl. So when I blow up, I'ma give it a whirl. Cause I'm overly
stay focused and overly thorough. When it's all said and done, they're gonna build me a mural. So much hustle, dog. It's all about that muscle, dog. Yeah, trying to make it out the struggle, dog. Yeah, hey, watch out this bubble, dog.
I want to copy this. Copy that.
So much hustle, dog. It's all about that muscle, dog. Yeah, trying to make it out the struggle, dog. Yeah, hey, watch out this bubble, dog. Yeah.
No, Buttery. We have had across time zone employees before. It was the other direction. We had one in the Philippines. Our design group is actually in Australia that we work very closely with for things. That feels different to me. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why I'm struggling getting my head around Mike's schedule because Sam. I think everybody we had before, I feel like the difference might be like what time did our design team come on? So it's midnight there now. So in 6 hours, be 6. Yeah. 9 o'clock. I don't know. I always feel like the people in Australia. I feel like I can talk to them before going to bed, which I can do for Mike as well, right? Mike is about the same time difference, isn't he?
I think we realized about 11 o'clock
It's when
p.m. our time is when he's coming on.
Yeah. So it's actually better. Mike is another hour ahead of Australia. Oh, yeah. I don't know, man. I can't explain it. It just is what it is. Yeah, man, is it 12 noon there or 12? What time is it there now? It's 12. Australia. Yeah. It's 12. It's noon in Australia right now. So that's it. Yeah. That's what I remember. I can work with our Australia design group at the end of my day. Get a lot accomplished. But Mike, he won't start his day until 11 p.m. my time. That's actually what I wanted.
I might have to wrap up here in a second.
Fine with me.
Alrighty.
Just
let me find
doing
out what's-
post show. The French guy does half a year in Japan and half a year in France. Always with information and meeting schedules. Yeah, I imagine that would be a pretty big time difference for you, right? It's 10 a.m. for you now, right? Buttery? It's 10 a.m. So
Yeah. I mean, we've had people across the U.S. time zone, so only a 3-hour time difference for years.
We still have people across the.
Yeah.
We still have people across the U.S. time zone.
No, I know. I'm just saying we've had that experience for a long time, but it's only 3 hours. Once you go across the pond, it adds quite a bit.
Yeah. It's a matter of
All
getting into finding a groove to get into.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Added that liberty and
I already got a show topic for next month. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget it.
Alrighty. I'm gotta go pick up my kid from skateboarding.
All right. Take it easy. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Buttery,
remember,
for helping me debug.
Noon next week. Bye.